So I'm sure many people have heard me say this time and time again, but St Patrick's Day is a proud day to be Irish, to express your Irishness, and to show pride, and obviously to celebrate St Patrick, of course, being the patron saint of Ireland. Of course, it's important to remember that too. But it is a very important day. I'm sure everybody can agree with me. Now, whatever you think about the Taoiseach, whoever the Taoiseach could be, for a long, long time, it's been the tradition that they go to Washington. I do think that's important. That aspect should probably be kept and should be cherished because, it is the most powerful country in the world, the United States of America. And for a small country like us to have such an influence, to have an audience with the President of the United States, even though, Joe Biden at the moment, I don't know about powerful, but, you get what I'm saying. I do think it's important because obviously the United States is is a very powerful country. Again, we do a lot of business with the United States. There's a huge amount of heritage. Ancestors went to the United States. It's a huge history between our two nations, and I suppose in that sense it's all right to kind of have. But what I do have an objective to is the amount of money that's being spent on sending ministers to here or there and everywhere. Take for example, Eamon Ryan is a great example. Every day of the week, climate change. We're going to all die born in hell because what we're doing to the planet. And he decides to fly off to Brazil, probably first class, of course, too. So what kind of environment is he trying to promote? Because let's be fair, why would he go somewhere if he says the place is the whole planet's born, etc., etc., and then he flies off to Brazil? You'd think he would say, no, I don't want to go. There was that I'm not going. But, Eamon Ryan is very hypocritical. He won't go and he won't be talking about saving the Amazon, of course, or anything like that. But that's just an example of one. Take, for example, Norman Foley's going to Edinburgh, London, going basically around the country, probably on the private jet in the United Kingdom. It's insane, and probably the bill would be, to be totally honest, because all of them are going, apart from one minister. Obviously, one minister has to stay in the country, either deputy minister or minister has to stay, because there has to be somebody to govern the country somewhere. Even though they could stay there for a week, to be totally honest. But what I'm trying, and even the minister for finance, Mike, what do we call him? It's going to China too. We're in with the Chinese, a great bunch of lads, isn't that right? But the money is insane. Probably that's been spent on this. I say, with all of them and probably paying for the hotels. Of course, they're not paying it for themselves. Don't worry, don't get your hearts in the thistle for a second. Because don't worry, they don't have to pay for the hotel. All the food's covered. Everything they want is covered. Don't worry, it's all paid for. The Irish taxpayer has to cover the bill. Don't worry, they don't pay a penny. 5-star hotels, luxury planes and etc., and all that, luxury champagne and all that. And even though there's people starving in the country, people suffering, but we don't care about them. They're Irish people. Who cares about Irish people? The government thinks, because they don't seem to care about Irish people. They care about everybody else, but they don't care about Irish people. But it's just constantly, they don't care. They simply do not care. They're just the champagne socialists as well. They don't think about the only Joe, but they don't think about the money that's been spent. But my opinion is that the Taoiseach should probably go to Washington, even though it's probably a few million for that alone. But it is significant for history, perspective, and economics, etc., etc. But I do think we should just get rid of ministers going to here, there, and everywhere. Because to be totally honest with you, who in the name of God gives a shit in London that Norman Foley's going to visit them in London, or Simon Harris? Who really cares? Which person in London is going to be celebrating because Norman Foley and Simon Harris is going there? And who would give a shit in Brazil about a minister for the environment that flies there and is on but saving the environment and stuff like that? And he's going on a private jet probably to Brazil. Who in Brazil really gives a shit? If they knew what Eamon Ryan was about, I don't think they would want them. Let's put it that way. But who cares? The only Joe in them countries don't give a shit that an Irish minister's there, and I don't think the political establishment don't give a shit about them. Unless you're the Taoiseach or the deputy prime minister, and understand when Micheál Martin's going to see his good friend Justin Trudeau. But it suits him there because Canada's getting the same as Ireland. It's just a dictatorship. So he's probably getting a few facts from Justin Trudeau how to suppress freedom and stuff like that. Because God forbid, they're going for good means, and probably Klaus Schwab will be there to have a nice meeting. The whole lot of them have a nice talk, of course, etc., etc. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Huh? We should get rid of all this bullshit. Just to say it straight, it's literally bullshit. Apart from maybe the Taoiseach and the Deputy Prime Minister, the Taoiseach. going anywhere. It should not be just ministers being sent here, there, and everywhere, especially halfway around the world. Like the Irish government every day of the week on about a few people born in tough that they're killing everybody in the planet. And then they're going flying halfway around the world to China, Japan. They're not swimming there. Let's put it that way. They're literally not going to swim there. So it'd be different if they actually went and paddled their way to China or to Japan. But they're all just flying off in jets and private jets, of course. They're not going on the peasants class planes. They're going on VIP private planes. All paid for, of course, by the taxpayer. So, you remember that when you ever ask for, if your community ever wants, I don't know, a footpath done up or something like that, or a new GP, there's no money for that, but there's money for this, of course. But yeah, let me know what you take, and so I'm bye.